The Tale of Three Drunk Men. Late one evening, three drunk men stumbled out of a local bar, laughing and staggering as they tried to navigate their way home. Jack, the youngest of the group, was a carefree soul who always acted on impulse. Mike, the eldest, considered himself the wisest, though his wisdom was often clouded by alcohol. Finally, there was Tom, the quiet one, who rarely spoke, but followed along wherever the other two led. As they walked down the dimly lit street, they reached a fork in the road. One path was straight and well paved, leading directly to their homes. The other was a narrow, winding trail through a forest rumored to be haunted. Jack, feeling adventurous, said, "Let's take the forest trail. It'll be fun, and who knows? We might even have a ghost story to tell tomorrow." Mike hesitated but, not wanting to appear cowardly, agreed. Tom, as always, said nothing and followed. As they entered the forest, the eerie silence was interrupted only by the rustling of leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl. The deeper they ventured, the darker it became, and soon, their drunken courage began to wane. Jack tried to lighten the mood by singing loudly, but his voice only seemed to amplify the ominous atmosphere. Suddenly, they heard a rustling sound nearby. "Who's there?" Mike shouted, his voice trembling. Out of the shadows stepped an old man with a lantern. His face was wrinkled, and his eyes gleamed with an unsettling intensity. "What are you fools doing here at this hour?" he asked in a gravelly voice. "We are just passing through," Jack slurred, trying to sound brave. The old man shook his head. "This forest is no place for drunken wanderers. Many have entered, but not all have left. Turn back now, or you'll regret it." Jack laughed. "Nice try, old man. We are not scared of ghost stories." Ignoring the warning, the trio pressed on, laughing and mocking the old man. But as they moved deeper into the forest, strange things began to happen. They heard whispers, though no one was around. Shadows danced in the corner of their eyes, but when they turned, there was nothing there. Mike, now visibly frightened, said, "Maybe we should go back. That old man might have been right." "Don't be a coward," Jack retorted. "It's all in your head." Suddenly, Tom, who had been silent all along, stopped. "Listen," he said softly, his voice steady despite his drunken state. "We are lost. I think we should stop arguing and focus on getting out of here." Reluctantly, Jack and Mike agreed. They decided to retrace their steps, but the path they had taken seemed to have disappeared. Panic set in, and their drunken state made it even harder to think clearly. Hours passed, and their laughter was replaced by fear and regret. They finally sat down, exhausted and defeated. "This is my fault," Jack admitted. "I insisted we take this path." Mike nodded. "And I followed, even though I knew better." Tom, still calm, said, "It's not about blame. What matters now is working together to find a way out." Taking Tom's advice, they began to cooperate. They marked trees to avoid going in circles and stayed close together. Eventually, just as dawn broke, they stumbled upon the edge of the forest, relieved to see the familiar road leading home. As they walked the final stretch, the old man from the forest appeared again, standing by the roadside. Without a word, he gave them a knowing look before disappearing into the woods. The three friends never spoke of that night again, but they each learned a valuable lesson. Moral of the story: sometimes, the paths we choose out of recklessness or pride can lead to unnecessary hardship. Wisdom lies in listening to warnings and working together to overcome challenges, especially when the way forward seems uncertain.